Hey everybody, this is David at Barnyard Bees. Today's video is what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to put together some hive bodies and some frames. This is something that you need to do now in preparation for spring, so now is a good time to get in your workshop and get these things built. And everything that we use to put together these is just a plain old pneumatic staple gun that has 1.5 inch staples, and that's all that we use. Just a quick message for anyone interested in 3-pound packaged bees or 5-frame Nucs. Don't forget barnyardbees.com. We have the nice general stock of bees that you want to get. Okay, I want to explain what staple that we used. The staple that we use is an 18 gauge 1.5 inch staple. You can get these at Harbor Freight, Lowe's, Home Depot, anywhere like that you can get them. And you can see there's several of them linked together that go in your pneumatic gun, and that's all they are. They're not a nail, they're a staple. They're 1.5 inch, 18 gauge. And the reason that you need to get it built now, because come springtime, you'll have very little time to get any of this done. So now is a perfect time to get in your workshop and get this stuff done. So I'm gonna start right in with how we do this. Like I said, we use the pneumatic gun for everything we do, and that includes the hive bodies. Now a lot of people may debate that, but I'm telling you, we've done it and it works fine. It's quicker and they hold together perfectly. And once you paint them, you'll never know what it was put together with. Some people will use a number 8 nail. I think it's an 8D. But we use the staple gun. We started using those and they work wonderful. They don't come apart. And you can get these guns if you have a local Harbor Freight that have a brand called Central Pneumatic. You can get them for under $20. So your initial cost for this will be your biggest. You know, you can get your guns really cheap. For $20, you can get a cheap air compressor for around $100, $150 at the most. So that's your initial cost. But once you get that, it takes so much work out of, especially with the hive frames, because it's so hard to take those little nails. Because here's your sidebar right here, and if you take those little nails and nail them through here, it is really, really hard. It's a pain, and it's so easy to do with these. And then basically what we do, I got a small table here, so I don't have a lot of room to play with, but I just stick my end bars down. Put the bottom bar on like so, and then I'll put one staple through that end. Watch your fingers, do not, once you get in place, move your fingers. And then you just simply flip it over and put 2 staples in. I recommend putting 2. Flip it over, and that's it. That's all you do to that frame right there. It holds together very good. You won't pull it apart. You don't have to glue it. You can, if you want to, check it for square. You don't really need to. You can get one of these little cheap squares like this and check it, and I mean it's perfect. It's perfect square. So if you want to check it for square, go ahead and check it, and then you can move it where you need to move it. And then the second thing we do, we use the top bars that have the cleats on them. And these cleats, you can see right here, they're just barely tacked on, and they just snap off very easily like that. They snap off, and then that's what you'll use when you put your wax in there, to squeeze it up against and staple it, and that holds your wax in. So now we use, especially in the brood box, we use a lot of starter strips. So here's a couple things that you can do. Okay, I broke my bar off here. Now what you want to do is get your wax, and then you get you a straight edge. You can even use your frame. And actually, if you use the width of that frame, that'll give you almost an inch starter strip. So all you do is just, I hope you can see that on the video right there, is lay it down, get your utility knife, and then all you do is just run it down that frame like that very easily, and that gives you a perfect straight edge. And there's your starter strip. So what we do from there, your starter strip, there's a little groove that'll slide out in. I have to do it here on the table so gravity will hold it better for me. And then once you get it in there, you just take your plate and stick it back in there, just like it come out, and you can take a staple gun and push it up tight with your hand and get a staple there, there, and there. And that gives your starter strip. Now, to explain starter strips, if no one's ever used these, it's our favorite to use, especially in the brood box. Now, you can use it as honey production too, but you need to make sure that you have either fishing line, 10 pound, around 10 to 20 pound test line, or wire, whichever you prefer. But I prefer fishing line, is because it makes it easy if you cut queen cells, out. Now, here's the thing with using starter strips. You give the bees, everybody has a little bit different view on this. It gives your bees opportunity to build what that hive needs to build. If they want to build more drone comb, it gives them a better opportunity to do that because they know how many drones they need compared to what you think they might need. It's just to me, it's a more natural way. And it's also cheaper than to buy your foundation. Now, you can reuse these year after year. And I'll show you another thing that we like to do. Here's a frame right here, you can see. And what we've done, there's holes in your end bar here. You got 4 holes. Okay, the 2 center holes, you run a fishing line. Now you can attach it by either, you can see on the video how we did this. We looped it around and stapled it right there. And run them through. You can see right here where it just went through the holes, went to the other side, pulled it tight and stapled it. There's different ways of doing that. It's very simple. You just want to draw it tight, pull it through there where it's tight, and staple it. So you can see where we got the staple there on the end. Now what this does, since this is a natural drone comb, what it does, this fishing line gives it stability and strength. So when you're pulling your frames out of your hive, and you're not always having to look at it like this, you can actually put a little bit of tilt on it if you need to, and it'll give it stability. Now, if it's a honey frame, especially, it'll give it a lot of support. Now, you can do this. Some people do this, is you can run from corner to corner, like in an X pattern. It depends on what you like. We prefer this. Some people may prefer that X pattern. It just depends what you like. Now, let me show you another thing that we do, and that's what this one actually is. Instead of using the starter strip, what you do, if you remember the bar that I broke off here. What you'll do, you'll melt you a little bit of wax and get you a little paintbrush, and you'll paint this bar, you'll paint it with wax. Look here, some of our top bars, we had our logo, barnyardbees.com, wrote on it. So Every now and then we send these out to the customer. That's something we do. Now, okay, same thing. Remember, just some people, you can make a frame jig. Some people do that. We don't. It's simple to do this way. Okay, there's your frame. It's that easy putting it together. Just be careful, like I said. One staple through here. One staple through here. Flip it over. There. There. And then you can get your square out if you want to check it for square. Usually they go together perfect, but you can see right there, that one just a little bit off, just a little bit, and just twist it just a little bit. Now it's perfect. It'll work. It works fine. Never had any problems with it. Okay, now basically what you want to do is break that tab off again. Okay, you paint it with wax. Now instead of putting it flat like it come off, you'll turn it upright. Once you get the wax on it, you'll turn it upright like this. I want to actually staple this because I'm going to put a starter strip on this one because I don't have wax coated on it. And then you basically just take your staple gun and staple here, here, and here, and that's sticking down. Let me show you on the one that's already done. It's sticking down, and that gives those bees something to start on right there. It hangs down a little bit and it's coated with wax. It gives them a starting point. They'll start there and they'll start drawing it down. And another thing that I like about the starter strips compared to the full foundation is the bees can actually work on both sides. They'll work like this instead of bees, because bees, if you notice, if you ever pull them out, you'll see them hanging together in a strand. And the bees will communicate with each other and they work together in unison to do whatever they're accomplishing. But the thing is, if you put a full sheet of foundation, these bees don't know what these bees are doing. But if you have that starter strip, and those bees will come down and they'll work like this on both sides, just like they was drawing it out in a wild colony. Same exact way. It gives them an opportunity to do things in a more natural sense. And with that excellent luck with it, it works really, really good. So that's how you put your frames together. And I showed you how with the starter strip. We'll get that out of the way. Okay, next thing we're going to do our hive bottoms. You got your long end and your short end, which is, this is a 10 frame. Now what we'll do, that needs to slid right in like it's supposed to. Okay. Now, these have nail holes in them, pre-drilled for nails. And you can nail them. I'm just showing you something that you can do differently that works just as well. And it's easy. And it's very easy to put these together instead of using all those nails. Now what I'll do, I'll get my pneumatic gun. I'm going to staple them. We'll try to miss that hole. You can either hit beside it, in front of it. It really doesn't matter. One staple through each of those sections. Like I said, it don't really matter. You just got to be careful that staple doesn't come out on either side, and if it does, you need to get you some wire cutters and cut those out. Now, same thing on this side. Now, I flip it over to the other long side. Make sure it's lined up, touching. And then, what you want to do is through the end. Same thing. And flip it over, this in. Check it for square, the same as we did with the frames. Look at that, it's perfect. And if it is off a little bit, push on the corners a little bit in like that, and it'll pull it whatever direction it goes. It works. It does good. It's fast and easy, and if you've got a number of these boxes to do, those nails are really tedious and a lot of labor. That pneumatic gun, get it at Harbor Freight. You can get your, like I said, $20 for your gun, probably $100 for, they do have some really cheap compressors there. The only drawback is you need to look at the PSI. I like at least 120 for the nail gun. Some of them are only go to 100 PSI, so at least 120 will put your staple in pretty good. So that's it. That's basically it. That'll help some of you get through your construction of your hive bodies, your frames, and that's about it, folks. If you need any of this one that you see, I mean, get it where you want to get it. But if you need any, barnyardbees.com, we sell all this, the hive bodies, frames, wax, everything. So don't forget that, but get them where you want to get them. But the message is get it built now. Get you some built now and be ready for spring. And don't forget, folks, please click on the little bell. Please help share our videos, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Barnyard Bees.